Hey, whenever you're working with Gorilla Glue, you want to have mineral spirits available, because if you ever get the Gorilla Glue on your fingers, you'll never get rid of that stickiness. Hey everybody, boy, I about cried when this happened. I was cleaning up my garage, and this is my remote control to my Jeep. It's a New Bright remote, and it's a Jeep that I do a lot of YouTube videos on. And and what happened is I went to turn it on and it wouldn't work. And that's because the battery's in here. This thing slides on just fine, no damage to that. This part of the thing was just wobbling out and the battery's sticking out. It's all busted up in here. The back is all gone in here. It's cracked alongside here. It's just fractured real good. So I'm going to rebuild this just like I did with the chainsaw. I'll link it to here. And rebuild it with the Gorilla Glue. Gorilla Glue works on an electric chainsaw. All that harsh banging and vibrating, it should work just fine on this. Put regular glue on this side just to keep those together. And the whole back is gone, so I have to rebuild that to reinforce this piece that holds the battery in. It's broken right across here, in there, and it's broken up in this area here. It actually lifts up. The whole side over here is busted. This piece is missing. I can't find this at all. Any place, the whole part up here is busted. So I just have to fill this up. There's nothing inside this back case. So I have to figure out how to fill this up and carve it out. Do the same back here, just tape it and fill it up with Gorilla Glue and protect the inside here. This whole cover slides back on just fine. In fact, I'll watch it not do it now because I'm talking to you. It actually snaps in place. All right, and it's in place. So now you see what's actually busted here, and to give some light on this, you can see that whole part is gone there. So off to fixing we go. Now I used some plastic cement, all right, and probably the last out of this container. It was very, very hard to get the little bit out. So I put it along there. I had to actually open it up some to get it inside the groove. So I'm going to let that dry overnight and then shave the rest away. Now I trimmed some of the excess plastic cement off of that. It's holding very well. And now notice the groove on this side. I have to maintain the groove in there, so I packed it in with tape. Over here is tape face to face, sticky to sticky, so what's on the inside is not sticky because I don't want the tape adhering to the Gorilla Glue that well. Now in my case, I'm going to put the glue in this side. Okay, there's a hole right there. You can see the tape on top there, so the tape's going to stop it from actually protruding out on this side, and hopefully keep it as smooth as what's over here when it's all done. Now this Gorilla Glue does expand, so I'm hoping it doesn't go any further than that. We don't want it to go, in my case, I don't want it to go down interfering with the movement of this and the movement of this, if it ever drips down that far. So I have no way of actually stuffing anything down there to stop that. I probably could try and then pull it back out, but the Gorilla Glue would probably stop it from coming back out. So in my case, you got to be careful of this. Now this can be done with anything plastic, a plastic toy that is broken, remote control. Obviously this is a remote control. So just try to isolate the Gorilla Glue from getting too far. So this is the first part, getting this done. Then I'm going to work on back here. Alright, Gorilla Glue is in there. I don't see any brightness from the tape. I looked on the other side and it's in there pretty good. So I might put another layer on that after it's dry, just to give it a good going. I'm going to let that sit for 24 hours and let it really harden up. Don't think it's going to drip any further. I kind of have it leveled. I might bring it down just a little bit more. Okay, you see how I'm using a tape measure to actually level that and get it on this side. I might have to just go out a little bit and see if I can bring it down some more. So you want it kind of leaning toward this way, not going down toward those controls. Alright, here's what I've done thus far. Is I filled up the outside here, and the outside there has bubbled up a little bit, came through the tape over here. That's fine. Now it's very important in here, if you're working around a battery terminal, don't get any Gorilla Glue on that spring. Try to get it as least as possible because it's just a pain in the rear to scrape it off when it hardens. Gorilla Glue is not meant to be tampered with when it's hardened up. Okay, it's just really hard to cut. Right now, this is kind of soft, and you can trim it, but you take the risk of actually moving something else. So I just wait until it's hard, then I'll chip it off. So what I'm doing is I'm building this up because right in here is a crack. I'm hoping Gorilla Glue fills that up, and the whole top here is gone. That goes straight across. So I have to rebuild this back area, so that's going to take a little working to do. Tape has to come around here. I'm trying to make this video as short as possible, but to the point. So right now what I need to do is build up these two areas right here, get the Gorilla Glue in there to actually build these up. So I'm going to have to put tape over each one and then fill them up going this way, and then turning this upside down so it sits. Whenever you turn it upside down, put it on, paper or something so the glue goes on the paper instead of your tabletop or desktop. And I taped them up. Nice holes right there to apply the Gorilla Glue, and see if I can get a better view of that for you. Alright, so make sure you tape up all the way around that. I had to put some extra tape on the back on both sides so it doesn't escape. So it's going to be and it's got to be down like this, down like in this kind of position. So I got to figure out how I'm going to hang that first to basically keep it off the surface, because I don't want this to be flat. Actually, maybe I do, because that's bellowed out a little bit. I'm going to have to trim some of the Gorilla Glue when it's out there. It should be even with this all the way up, but I'll worry about that when the time comes. All right, if you're in my situation, you may want to do it one at a time. So I'm just going to work on the bottom one here, and I'll figure out what to do. I could probably just stand it up on the bottom to do the bottom one. Well, I'm starting to work on the front part now. Now what I did is I took a piece of tape, the length of the tape itself, and folded it long ways to make a non-sticky side on the inside. And then I took a piece of tape and I put that on the inside of that and then taped it here. You got to press really hard down on here because don't want the Gorilla Glue to be going down through that. All right. I also have figured that the top right here, where the smooth part is my limit. That's what I have to make all the way across. Is right there. I already am above it here. I have to break this away. This up here has to come off, so the cover can slide on real good. So when you're rebuilding yours, you have to consider all this. All right. So and remember, Gorilla Glue does expand. So I'm probably only going to fill this up halfway. I do have tape on the inside. The battery's inside to put pressure on that tape to stop it from getting down on the coils. You do not want the Gorilla Glue to get on those coils on the inside with a battery terminal. It's just a pain in the rear end to get off if it dries. Okay, so remember, Gorilla Glue does expand, so be careful just how much you put in there. I've just put the final application right in there. This took about 3 or 4 times. The first one I didn't even know anything went in there. It didn't foam up or fluff up. This one did just nicely. It's as high as it's going to go. It looks like there might be a little hole back there. I got to take a look at that when the tape comes off, or maybe I can drop something in there. I don't want to get it over the tape. But it looks really good on this side. Hopefully what I just put in there will come above that black mark in there. I put these in. These are, those free offers on credit cards that you get in the mail. I just shred them up into about 1/2 inch wide, stuck them in there where the battery is, and put more pressure so this wouldn't go on that coil on the back. So by tomorrow morning, this should be ready to trim outside of that little issue right there. Well, 2 days later from the start, I took all the tape off, and I'll tell you what, that front part looks really nice. The side over here in the front, I don't have to do any work on whatsoever, all the way around here. And this little dark spot is a solid piece. I stuck a piece of wire down inside, and it's a solid piece right there. So there's no hole to fill in. So probably when I trim this down to meet that little black piece right there, it should be fine. The tape I wadded up, put in there, did really good on that rail. I probably should have done the same thing on this side. I need to show you in here. It did get over the other contact of the battery here, so I have to clean it up. But the spring looks really good. It never touched the top of the part of the spring. So that's fine. I can clean up underneath it really good. So now it's time to take an X-Acto knife or a very sharp little pocket knife and go trim around. Don't want to dig too far down on this kind. If you're doing something like what I have, that little rail right there is my guideline. I don't want to go below that. I want to trim down that so the cover can slide on. All right, but it was looking really promising. All this is rock hard. That's what I like. And now it's time to go do some cutting. Oh, there it is. Okay, there was a crack there. That's very well sealed now. All right, and I had to cut the grooves out right here for the thing to slide on. Not really seen good in this picture. Maybe right there you can see the metal positive side for the battery. I cleaned up. I'm not worried about cleaning too much back here, but I think it works very well. Here's the thing. I'm going to try doing it with one hand. I did do it already, so this might be fun. It slides on very nicely. All right, and actually slides right in. All the way it did. I think it is. See, it has a hard time getting by that part, but there it is, all the way in. So it's just really tight back here, but that's good. That's good, and they're snug. Now the only problem that I had is when I went to test all this other stuff, this guy here had to break free. It's kind of sticking over on that side. It's not bouncing back. So I think some got actually down over here. So now in order to take this apart, I might wait a little while, and then I take the screws out of the back of this and go work on that on the inside just to free that up, because it had no noise before. The trigger down here is fine. Okay, now the thing is to put the batteries in and see if it actually powers up. It should, but we'll see. Here's the ultimate test. The light is on, and I just tapped it. Sorry, move it. Okay, here we go. And then the tires do move. You can see it up there. So if I turn right, I went backwards. Okay, I'm doing this with one hand. Okay, turn left, turn right. So it's all working. So yeah, it's a little tight moving this guy, but at least the contacts didn't get bad. All right, but I mean, that looks pretty darn good. It protrudes out just a little bit. Let me turn this off. It protrudes out just a little bit. I might want to trim that up a little bit more, but you know what? It gives a little character, I guess. Somebody should be asking me that. They see, hey, what happened to your remote? And I can point it to my video. Okay, hey, subscribe. A lot more coming.